Thank you. This is safe in Tucson. I see my fellow county border sheriff here, Babu. We're both in the same area in the great Commonwealth of Massachusetts. You guys steal our tea, you steal our Minutemen. What else are you going to steal from Massachusetts? You stole me? So I want to thank you. This is a great, great crowd, great organization. Sometimes we need organizations like this, volunteers, to tell the truth. And let me just say this. You've made it, because when you have all the politicians want to appear before you, then your voice is being heard from Washington City Council. You know, someone mentioned the federal government going after the sheriff. It's a shame, because I spent 30 years with the federal government, 14 years at the border. I was a regional director in Mexico City for the Drug Enforcement Administration, director in Texas, director in Arizona. So this is one guy that knows where Mexico is. I wish the president would invite me to the White House. The sergeant in Cambridge, Massachusetts, that arrested an African-American professor. Yeah. Unfortunately, the president stuck his nose in that local situation. But then he invited both of them to the White House. And they had some beer. How come I'm not invited? I'm accused by the Justice Department of racial profiling. You know, my mother and father came from Italy, so we'd have wine, and I can have the beer. I was born and raised next to the Basketball Hall of Fame, Springfield, Mass. He likes basketball. Why don't we play a little basketball? Yeah. I'm sure I'd beat him. Took 60 days. In the Obama administration, 60 days to go after this sheriff with the Civil Rights Division, Department of Justice, that I used to work for. 60 days. We got economic problems, wars. Why me? I'm just a little old sheriff from Maricopa County, Arizona. You know where that is? That's where Phoenix is. It's the mayor of Phoenix that went down there constantly to meet the Attorney General to go after me, because he didn't like me going into the city, locking up illegals. I'm the elected sheriff. I report to the people, period. I report to you. That's why I survived, believe me. Survived for 18 years. You know what? I'm running again, just for spite. I know how to solve the immigration problem. I know how to do it. Now, by the way, we arrested, detained, investigated 40,000 in Maricopa County. My office, 40,000. So you keep fighting, come from Tucson, and we'll catch them. We caught over 2,000 smugglers. Let them keep coming. Everybody talks about securing the border. They're correct. But nobody talks about locking them up in the interior of the United States. That's what we focus on. Workplace. Arrested 500 illegals working in the workplace. 75% your ID, phony identification. Nobody talks about that.
Yeah.
So how do you solve the problem at this border? Easy. I remember G. Gordon Liddy, remember him and I ran an operation under President Nixon where we didn't close the border, we just backed up traffic all the way to Mexico City. That one marijuana cigarette. So my point is this, when I was the director in Mexico, we were operational. We worked undercover, we had gun battles. I met with the Mexican president, he authorized this, so why don't our president meet with the Mexican president when he's free? You know, he's always bad-mouthing Arizona, sticking his nose in our business.
Yeah.
So if I was the president, I would meet with him and say, listen, you want to do something at the border? Get rid of the violence? Let's put our border patrol on that side of the border, like we used to operate in Mexico. Dangerous for the border patrol. Okay, let's send our army across the border. Our troops are in Afghanistan, Iraq. They're fighting for our country, especially terrorism. Well, you think terrorists can't cross this 2,000-mile border? If you want to use that as a reason, that's a great reason. We don't even have to talk about drug smuggling and human smuggling. I'll tell you one thing, we sent the Border Patrol of the Army across the border, we'll clean that up in 30 days. 30 days. And I'm talking about bilateral, I'm not talking about invading Mexico. I'm talking about the president joining forces and say, we need help. We have our army over there. We have our federales. We need your help. Come on over, work together, and we'll solve the problem. But you and I know that will never happen. Never happen. Unfortunately, there's politicians that are afraid of the Mexican or Hispanic vote. Business people like to hire cheap labor. It's a political problem, too. Something has to be done in Washington. But, let me say this. I have 4 million people in Maricopa County that we know of. I'm sure there's a few others floating around. We're going to continue doing our job on the local level in Maricopa County as far as the sheriff is concerned. And we'll keep doing what we have to do to enforce all the laws. And let me tell you this. I took an oath of office to enforce all the laws. All the laws. Maybe more people remember. So I'm a little discouraged. I don't see many demonstrators around here. Everywhere I go, I was in Idaho, and Denver, and Nashville, New Hampshire, New York. Everywhere I go, there's demonstrators. How come we don't have any around here? I'm talking about open border demonstrators. Open border demonstrators. And in closing, I want to thank Tucson, because the last time I was here signing some books, I had 500 demonstrators. Actually, they cut my head off, pinata, and they showed it to all the kids. Remember that? I think it was a public defender paid by taxpayers. Reid didn't let this demonstration against me. If you don't like what I do, respect the uniform, respect the position. If you can find your way to Maricopa County, look me up. I'm in the Wells Fargo building. Between 12 and 1, you'll see all the demonstrators there. Call me every name in the book. Another thing I want to thank Tucson for. You're a great singer. What's her name? Linda Ronstadt. last month. And she stopped in front of our tent city. You do know we have Korean War. And she said nice things about me. What I did, I played her music in the jail so loud she couldn't hear herself talk.